Gaza, negotiations continue. The president says everybody's working to get a deal. Batya, I'm so eager to hear from you on the fact that tomorrow, October 7th, the cruel irony that the events of October 7th have led to the most anti-Israel backlash in American public opinion of really in the history of Israel. And I'm just wondering your thoughts and feelings about that. It's a cruel irony.
It is very sad. I can't get over how it seems to me in this moment that Trump is sort of trying to save Israel from itself almost. He's doing this runaround with Bibi to where he is just setting the agenda and not letting Bibi get away with his usual stuff. The Israeli people are desperate for a hostage deal, and they were very unhappy with the latest Gaza incursion. They're sort of sick of this war as well. And I think Trump has this innate understanding of where the Israelis are and how the leadership is not necessarily reflecting that. And he's seeing this sort of the elevation of anti-Israel sentiment, both on the left and on the right. And I think from his own innate attachment to the Jewish state and the Jewish people, is trying very hard to kind of correct that in the best way he knows how. And separate from that, this deal is just, again, nobody else could have pulled this off. And you can see the groundwork that was laid with that trip to Qatar and the UAE and Saudi Arabia early on in the term, balancing out his unapologetic pro-Israel bona fides and sentiments to make both sides of this feel that he has their best interests at heart. It's truly masterful how he's navigating that. And, it would be, I'm about to log off for the holiday, but to log back on in 48 hours and find out that this deal has been signed, it would be the most amazing way of commemorating the second anniversary of October 7th. I'll just say one more thing, which is the Hostage Families Forum today nominated Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. They said nobody else has done what he has done to bring the hostages home. And I think that's just so obviously true. And it's a very deep thing to contemplate.
Thank you for that. Stephen, how did we get to the point where sentiment in this country is more anti-Israel than it's ever been?
Well, there are a lot of reasons for that. Obviously, the response that happened in Gaza, I think, went way too far, and then the way that the content emanating from that generated on social media. If you're, a Gen Z who gets your news from TikTok, you have a very high chance of being anti-Israel. And so, but I think what's interesting right now is that I have a number of sources who are directly involved in the negotiations. And the one thing that they keep emphasizing to me is Trump's role here. Trump has built up an incredible amount of leverage and political capital. And Netanyahu and Israel really cannot defy Trump. And so Trump is putting a lot of pressure on Israel. And I think we'll see some movement in the near future. And to Batya's point about what the hostage families said about Trump, definitely, whether this is right or wrong, type of motivation for Trump to have, the Nobel Peace Prize Committee is meeting over the next couple of weeks. And that seems to be a pretty big motivation for him.
I may
Stephen,
be,
oh, sorry, go ahead, Mark.
I may be wrong, but aren't they announcing it on Friday?
My understanding is it would be later in October, but I could be wrong on that.
I thought it was being announced on Friday. Sorry, go ahead, Batya.
Stephen, do you feel that anything Donald Trump has done over the last 9 months qualifies him for the Nobel Peace Prize?
I think if this Gaza peace plan actually gets negotiated and agreed to by both Hamas and Israel, I think he becomes a credible candidate. Absolutely.
If you look at the five people who are voting, I think Donald Trump could make peace between the U.S. and Mars and Martians, and they wouldn't give it to him. But maybe I'll be wrong.
Let me just say one more thing on that.
Yeah.
We've Mark, I think the first time I was on Two-Way, you asked me what is the policy area that Democrats most underestimate Trump on, and I said it was foreign policy.
Yeah,
and that still continues to be the case. And so even as we talk about a Nobel Peace Prize, I know a lot of my Democratic friends are probably rolling their eyes, but it becomes a credible conversation, especially if this peace plan goes
Totally agree. Being a good steward of a good economy is a big part of being president. But I've said for now 5 presidents, getting leverage over China, Russia, and Netanyahu is really the primary foreign policy goal. And Trump has more leverage over Bibi than any president in our lifetime. He really, as prime minister, really does. And that's an incredible achievement. It didn't happen by accident. So we agree on that. Cozy Earth makes extraordinary products for your bed, for your back, for your legs, pants and shirts, and of course the bedding. Cozy bamboo sheets, heat rate, temperature regulating, keep you hot in the winter and cool in the summer. And then, of course, my new favorite, the Bubble Cuddle Blanket. Lose yourself in luxury with the Bubble Cuddle Blanket. Try to say that fast 10 times, Bubble Cuddle Blanket. All of them, it's stuff, viscose made from bamboo, incredibly comfortable. And now, if you'd like to get some of the products from Cozy Earth, you can at an extraordinary discount of 20% off. Go to cozyearth.com. Use the promo code 2A for 20% off your full purchase. Cozyearth.com. Tell them Mark sent you and buy the pants. Don't just buy the pants, but buy the pants. I wore them all day, and as usual, they served me quite well.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the Two-Way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.